Hello, YouTube. Hopefully, reception than what we had earlier over at Walmart. I am actually at the Chinese Takeout right now, trying to order, but I want to show you what they got going on. You can't just order. The Chinese Takeout is still open, but you actually have to call. Well, this is the lunch menu here. So I ordered their lunch special, but for safety reasons, they're like sealed inside. Everybody is like sealed. So you have to call the order and they'll actually deliver. So if you're wondering if you can have Chinese food or any other food, some restaurants are staying open and they are now doing delivery. There's Chinese places doing delivery. I am here waiting outside. They are cooking it right now, and I actually had to call the order in. So they will come out and give me my food and take my money, I guess. I wonder if I should pull out the 80 cents. That way they don't have to give me change. I don't know. You could freak out about money or anything, but basically, I decided to go ahead and get some food here. You guys can see me here. I am walking around with my mask, my homemade mask, just to demonstrate it and also make sure it works. I think when I have time, I'll probably make some better ones. These are disposable because once you go out, if you're getting any viruses or anything on it and you touch it, then you're just spreading it all over yourself again. So you wanna get rid of these masks once you use them. You know, they're kind of like one-time use. And I guess if you had a cloth one, you could wash it. You know, but yeah, it's like everybody's a bandit now. I wonder if they allow you to go to the bank like this. You know, normally they don't even let you wear sunshades or anything like that. I bet you if you go into the bank, but I'm pretty sure the banks are closed too. It's like everybody's a bandit now. It's weird. It's like, now I did get out of Walmart. I was in Walmart buying some stuff, and I'm starting to see more people wearing masks. So somehow they're getting access to masks, maybe online. You know, those might be the same masks that they're taking from the hospitals. Somebody hijacked all the masks for the medical staff. But anyhow, I was just showing people how you could make this and how you would use it, even though it looks pretty stupid. But the fact is, like right now, there's nobody around where I am. You can see behind me, it's all empty. So wearing a mask out here right now really isn't that, you know, not needed really. But if you go inside a building where there are people, or you're in an area where there are a lot of people, like inside a grocery store or something, it's probably advisable to cover up. You know, not only are you potentially protecting yourself, you're protecting other people. So like if I cough right now, see, I just coughed. And it basically coughs back into your face. So if nothing else, the mask will keep you from spreading anything if you've got it. You know, it coughs right back. Coughing into your elbow or something like that is better than coughing into the open air, obviously. But if you're wearing a mask that covers you up, this is the way to do it. You know, I mean, this is the way to keep stuff from spreading. How's everybody doing? Yeah, they're saying you can't go to the bank. I guess the government's going to issue all these checks, and then people are going to have a hard time cashing it or depositing it. And then here's the thing, you know, if truly the virus is as contagious as they say it is, that means anything you touch, including money or checks and stuff, there's the potential for putting the virus on there and transmitting it to other people. So, you know, you're taking all these precautions, but then you're not taking full precautions. But there's no real way. I think what it comes down to at this point right now with the way things are going is faith. You know, how much faith? Oh, I think my food is here. So they're gonna, they are hiding from me. And I am going to take the money here. Oh, thank you. So let me show you what's going on. They have opened the door, got my food. This is my roast batch with mixed vegetables. So they got my food, got my money, and they're gonna give me change. You have to, like, see how they put the table here? This is to keep your distance. So you're not allowed to get up closer than that. So it's pretty smart. I mean, you know, everyone's taking precautions and playing it safe. Thank you so much. You guys stay safe. So this is the new world. You know, if everyone will hunker down and try not to walk around and keep spreading the situation, get it to the point where there's no new occurrences, you know, people getting infected, then things can go back to normal. The issue I'm having is they're still not testing everybody. And without being able to test everybody, you got to keep assuming that somebody's infected. You know, how are you going to know it's over when you're not testing people? You really need to be able to test everyone, you know? Or if everyone does indeed follow the guidelines and goes into self-quarantine or whatever for 1 month, that should be enough for the virus to basically die off. You know, it'll either kill you or it will die. So I'm gonna eat now. Basically just gonna chill and eat in here, but just wanted to show you what those of you who, those of you who don't know what's going on, but honestly, this is the first time I think, at least in recent time, where what I talk about is actually something most people are going through right now. So unless you're on another planet right now, if you're on Earth, then you're probably going through the same kind of crap with the quarantine and all the weird stuff that occurs with it, you know. But I'm just showing you that it is possible to still get some food. Now, do I recommend coming out here to get food? I want to take off this mask. So much better now. Anyhow, do I recommend going out for takeout? No, I don't. If you're a van dweller, you don't have a choice. If you're living at home, you can call the Chinese restaurant, look them up in the phone book or on the internet, call them. They'll do, like most places are doing delivery at home. So, you know, you can still eat out, sort of, if you have the money. So, you know, you don't have to basically act like you have to cook everything or eat canned food every day. Now, honestly, it would be safer to cook your own food, because then you know whether or not it's cooked, you know, and whoop, sorry about that. we are freaking out here. The camera is freaking out. All right. I think I'm gonna start up the car and get some air conditioning. It's kind of hot. All right, that's much better. Turn off the turn signal, and I'm gonna munch. But basically, you can still eat out, sort of, every once in a while by calling it out, but then you're trusting that the people preparing your food, that they're not sick and coughing all over your food. So, you know, it's a risk you take when you take out. Obviously, I think any place right now that's doing business, like food and stuff, they're going above and beyond with how they do things, trying to keep things sterile. And those of you who are wondering if this is bat, it's not really bat. It's cat. You know what? They didn't give me a fork. What the heck? No spoons or forks. But you know what? We're living in a van, so I actually have my own stash of forks and stuff. So, you know, I have forks and spoon and whatnot. I'm just gonna use a spoon though. They didn't put utensils in there. I should go back and bang on their door. You know, they freak out when you go banging on their door, because the way things are going, you have to treat everybody as if they're contaminated. But you know, better than that, you should treat yourself as if you were contaminated. So what would you do if you were trying to protect other people? You'd probably isolate yourself, probably cover up, you know, as much as possible when you're dealing with other people, so you don't cough on them or breathe on them. I think that's really the attitude people need to have, is to act like they are the ones who are infected. This is good food. Got, I'm going to show you what the food looks like. If I can show it here. We've got broccoli, celery, carrots, and that meat you see, it's not bat, it's pork. Okay, so it's pork. And white rice. This is the first Chinese food I've had in a long time. Not because I'm afraid that eating Chinese food is going to give me the virus, but because of the craziness, you know. I had my first pizza the other day from Little Caesars. Yes, I got a soda. Even though I have sodas in here, I probably should have got the egg roll. Oh, for those of you wondering, the van now has fully functional solar power. So that means it's running, it's generating electricity even when it's shut off. And let me show you, I'm going to show you another cold can of soda here. This is another cold can of soda that was stored in the back in a little refrigerator my wife had gotten me probably about 2 years ago. The little tiny Coleman or whatever, no, Igloo. It was an Igloo refrigerator. It's really one of those that it's not like a compressor. It runs off 12 volts, and it has those, what do they call those things? It's a tiny little thing. It doesn't get to freezing, but it's like 20 to 30 degrees cooler than ambient. So my little refrigerator will only hold 6 cans of soda. Okay, my console broke, so I got rid of it. I have another console that I can plug in, and it holds a little bit more. But I think it uses too much power, and it doesn't store that much. The new console that I got originally to give to somebody else, but I never had a chance to give it to somebody. I will probably try to buy another console cooler that runs off 12 volts directly. I'm not going to spend money on a Dometic unit or anything that's expensive. But I would normally buy this at Goodwill, but Goodwill's all shut down. So either I have to buy the cooler online, which I might do to save money. I'll pick one up at Walmart or something. The idea is to get a 12-volt cooler to keep in the van and also in the RV. Well, maybe not as important in the RV. If I get the solar panels all hooked up in the RV and working fully, I'll have 1,000 watts roughly to work with. That's enough to run the refrigerator. So if I have enough to run the refrigerator, then, you know, I can have all the cold food and I can start to store things again and use the RV like a house. But the minivan right now, with it being able to have power during the daytime, I can keep cold soda and stuff in one of those little coolers. Also food. This tastes so good. I could try to cook this stuff myself, but I just haven't had a chance. I've been busy. Like when I've been at the RV, I haven't really been cooking. I mean, I cook like quick meals, but nothing fancy. I've been mostly working on trying to get the solar panels and stuff installed. There is a chance that things will shut down even further. My work facility right now is still designated as critical, or, you know, one of those businesses that have to stay open. So I go to work every day, which might seem kind of bad having to work through all this, but at work I have access to a refrigerator and a freezer and water. So work isn't just work for me right now, it's a lifeline. What I'll be spending the next couple weeks doing is trying to develop some offline, I guess off-grid systems really fast, like a water distiller. So that if you had to, you could distill any liquid and get water. Well, any liquid that has water in it. This is good stuff. Mmm. Wanted to point out some stuff. It is kind of late if you're wanting to prep right now. It may not be impossible. I'm not sure what the status is. The last time I talked to Tony, it was actually through a text. Tony, the boss for the solar panel place, you know, Solar Wholesale LLC. He said even though they're under shutdown, he wants me to still try to sell the solar panels and the big solar trucks. So if you're needing solar panels, in the About Me, there's a link for Javon, who's the guy that, you know, I'm going through that helped me. He's kind of like sort of a co-worker, sort of a supervisor. But I go through him. You'll want to call his phone number and see what the status is, if you know, they can ship stuff off or if you have to pick it up. I don't know if you're going to have to pick it up. I don't know if you're going to be allowed because Orlando's under shutdown. And so is California and other places. But if you have a big shipment, I don't know, they might be able to ship it still. I'm not sure, but call them if you want, you know, if you need panels and stuff, like you have an off-grid house or you have a house that you're thinking may end up having the grid turned off. And even though I think the likelihood of them turning electricity off is very slim, it's still a possibility because I thought the possibility of them shutting down all the bathrooms was slim, but they went ahead and did that. So the more self-contained and functional you can be, the better. I still need to put together the ad, which I might try to do tonight, for the solar trucks, or the trailers rather. Basically, the company got access to a fleet of self-contained solar generator trailers. These trailers, it's nothing but like a whole bunch of solar panels. A bunch of solar panels and huge bank of batteries and power inverters and even lights. So all you do is you pull that trailer behind your vehicle and you park it where you want it, open up the panels and turn the system on, and you have access to, I think, about 5,000 watts of electricity. That's enough to run an air conditioning unit and have the batteries charge up really fast. Basically, you can run a house on it, a tiny house. I think they use it for stuff like concerts. They also use it for things like emergencies where they have to have power, you know, for the people that are trying to help you. Normally, I think people who buy this kind of stuff tend to be government. You know, utility repair places and things like that. So, because they're normally super expensive. I think about $30,000 each or more. They're selling them right now used for $12,000, and with the living in a van discount, you got to tell Javon sent you. They will knock 10% off that. Now, as far as I know, you have to go to California to pick it up. Unless you call Javon and see if they will deliver. You know, I don't know. Those are arrangements you need to make with Javon. Some people say, how come you don't know much about it, Denoy? It's because I really don't. I don't. You know, I'm just there to help them basically make the public aware of their products and stuff. And if people want to get it, they can contact them. I'm sort of a sales rep, but not really. I'm sort of a brand ambassador, although they put that on hold right now. So me promoting them right now, I'm not even really getting paid for it, okay, unless sales are made. But even then, I'm not really trying to push it. I don't even know how much they're going to pay me. I don't really care too much. The main idea for putting that information out there is it could be important to somebody. So somebody who's off-grid right now that doesn't have power but wants a self-contained power unit and has the money might be interested in one of those trucks. Now, like I said, California is under quarantine and lockdown. Florida is under quarantine and lockdown. So I don't know how you're going to get it, but you can call Javon and then maybe make arrangements. Either you somehow get over there to pick it up, or they may be able to send somebody to deliver. I don't know. I don't know what the status is. I only know it's available, and I only know that as of, I think it was Monday, he asked me to go ahead and try to sell them, try to help sell, because otherwise the company's struggling. You know, all sorts of companies, every company out there is struggling right now. Struggling. I'm trying to read your stuff here. A lot of people have drive-through. So eating out and stuff is still possible, but my honest advice, if you can cook in, you should probably cook food. Because when you go to take out like I just did, or order drive-through food, you are assuming that the person cooking it isn't sick and coughing all over your food. You're hoping. And some of you might be thinking, why are you eating this then, Denoy? Why did you go to Takeout? I've been running around and I was hungry. You know, one, I don't normally eat Takeout that much. It's expensive. But I do every once in a while. Two, even though I'm taking some precautions, I'm not like 100% paranoid about it. If I had a working refrigerator and stuff, yeah, I would buy more fruits. Maybe not fruits, but veggies and stuff, frozen and whatnot, so I can use it to cook more of this kind of meal with vegetables and everything. But because the refrigerator isn't functional yet in the RV with the power situation, I've been eating mostly meat, you know, that I cook up. Like I'll buy fresh meat and I'll cook that up, but no veggies other than canned stuff. And sometimes I'll take the frozen, but then I got to cook up a whole package. There's no way for me to store it. And then if I have leftovers, you understand it gets complicated. Without refrigeration, it's hard to store food. Faith Walker Todd says they don't need to test everyone. Here's the thing though. Most people, if they already have the virus, they may not even have been aware of it. And, you know, because of the thing taking about 2 weeks or so, you might have already had it. Some of you out there listening to me probably already had it and recovered already. I myself, I don't know if I ever had it. I was showing some of the symptoms, still am some, but there's also pollen and stuff flying around. And it's been more than 2 weeks. So potentially you could have it and then you'd be over it, you know. So all this stuff with the protection and stuff may not be doing me any good because I already built an immunity. That's assuming it hasn't mutated and can reinfect back with a new mutation. Yeah, see, Faith Walker Todd says right now they're only testing people who are seriously ill, so the numbers are very skewed. They are keeping the numbers low, only testing people who are dying pretty much. I'm like, I think the infection is much, much higher than what they're actually counting. And as more test kits become available and they're testing more people, you're going to see that number rise exponentially. Hey, Paul, good to see you on there. Mark wants to know if I get rid of the tolls. Probably not, but the law is not taking over. And basically, I have to go through the legal system, and the police have to go through the legal system. They're the ones who recommended that I file it ASAP, so that when they violate, they can actually physically arrest them. Because evidently, they thought I was kidding. They thought that this isn't real. Well, you know, when the police go to serve it and when they violate it again and the police come and arrest them, they can go sit in jail with all those people who have coronavirus because there's a bunch of body bags and freezer trucks sitting outside the jails for a reason. Those people in jail, you think they're getting treated? If you're locked up in jail and somebody has it, all of you have it. Yeah, AA Angry said I should have got the egg roll. I kind of wish I had, because I forgot I had soda in here and it was cold. Thumbs Up Man says unemployment website is messed up. So that's the problem. Government will say all this stuff, but then when you go to it, it's not possible to do what they're telling you. I feel sad for all the people having to file unemployment. And if they're still doing all the what do they call it, bureaucratic crap, where they have to call you and talk to you and interview you and verify all this information. Wasn't there like something like 30 million people filed? Are you kidding me? You're not going to be able to do that. And it's not exactly normal circumstance. Half the stuff is closed. More than half the stuff is closed. I really don't think people should be having to file unemployment right now. You know, the government kept wanting to take charge of people's lives to the point where you're not even allowed to live on your own land. Now, they have to take charge, and they don't want to take charge. They made it so people can't live on their own land and grow their own food in their backyard and, you know, raise animals and stuff without getting fines. But now, see, the system has broken, and the government says, well, we're not responsible. Yes, you are. You made it so that people can't even live and catch rainwater without going to jail. I think that's one of the reasons, you know, people are like shifting to live in vans and RVs and stuff. But see, they're cracking down on that by taking away resources like the ability to get more water. You know, I know there's probably going to be changes. I don't know if people are going to protest when this is all over. Right now, everyone's just in survival mode. Even the people who are healthy and aren't, quote, aren't affected, they are finding they are affected. Like, everything's shut down. Lil Nas wants to know what I'm eating. It's bats. Bats. B-A-T-S. I did tell him to leave off the wings. Yeah, because the wings tend to be the part that's dirty. Wow. Thumbs Up Man says they're shooting people in the Philippines that aren't following the orders. I can actually see that happening in America too, when people start going crazy. Right now, I have to carry my credentials around with me. Several reasons. One is I have to have the stuff to show the police or whoever pull me over, if they do pull me over, that I'm okay to be out, that I'm just leaving work or whatever, or I'm going to work. Two, if they mess with me in the van, obviously I can show it's like a house and tell them the truth. I'm living in my van. I have nowhere to go. You want me to park at your police station? If you're wondering where to park and you have nowhere else to park, park anywhere. And when the police come, ask them if you can follow them back to their station. They're going to try to send you to another town. Tell them you can't. You don't have enough gas. Your car's going to break down. Beg them to go to their police station. Then you can park in the police parking lot. At least there, you won't have to worry about the knock. Keep in mind, the police are freaking out too. They're not immune to getting the virus. Everybody's potentially at risk. Jonathan wants to know if I think the USA should bring home its industry. I'm no expert, but I will tell you this. When you ship off critical stuff for your country, you're not that smart. It might be good to keep critical stuff in your own country. Stop thinking of money as the bottom line of everything. Your money is useless when you die over a stupid little virus, okay? When something so invisible can kill you in 2 weeks from the time you get infected. All that money you got, all that money you saved up, all your money from stocks and stuff, it's totally useless. I think that each country, if they want to stay separate and stuff, should maintain their own industry. I do believe that the world needs to connect more as humans, not as Americans and Italians, Russians and Chinese or whatever. We're all humans. You can see this virus went all over the place, and it doesn't care if you're black, white, brown, red, whatever color you are or what language you speak, you're male or female. And even though people think it's only affecting the older people, it's affecting everyone. Little babies have died. You know, little teenagers and young adults have died. So the reason it was affecting older people, those people were the most fragile, and those were the ones that checked into the hospital first. But you're starting to see young people dying now. So suddenly now, it's not just an old person's worry, it's everybody. I think that industry as a whole, I think it's too integrated right now. You know, the world is one big group as far as commerce. I know there's a lot of Chinese bashing and stuff going on, and always has been, but you can see what happened when China shut down. You couldn't even get toilet paper. The United States depends upon world trade, not just from China, but from everywhere. And they're all interconnected, you know. I don't even know all this stuff because I'm not one of the people that deal with it, but I know they're all interconnected. And if you take out one group, you're going to find a mess load of suffering. So instead of attacking different groups and different races and different countries and stuff, maybe we need to work together as a human race. And maybe our priority as a species needs to not be wealth and power, but knowledge and taking care of one another and giving everybody a reasonable life, a good life. I will tell you one group that's benefited from all this BS going on right now. Do you know what that group is that has benefited the most right now? 10 points for anybody who can tell me what group has benefited the most from this pandemic that is worldwide. I'll give you guys a few seconds. Well, maybe a minute, so I can bite some more of this bat. This is good food. I'll give you a clue. Do you guys know what this is? This is sunflower seeds. It represents the food that I give to the squirrels when I see them. And what I wanted to say is, despite all this craziness and stuff with the world, one thing about it makes me happy, and that is that the animals are benefiting. Nature is reclaiming itself. The air is becoming cleaner as cars are no longer driving, 24/7. The waters are becoming cleaner as boats and stuff aren't out there dumping their poop and chemicals and all this crap into the water. So nature is fighting back. So if you wonder what may be happening, nature might be had enough. We are a virus to nature. So nature is fighting back right now and can wipe us all out very effectively with a tiny little microscopic virus. So the animals and nature are benefiting from this lockdown on humans. So those of you who are pro-animals, I know this probably wasn't the way you thought it should go, but really if you're pro-animal, you should be excited and happy. All the humans are dying off over a little virus, and the animals are going to have a clean world. So, does any of this really bother me? what bothers me sometimes is I still see the crazies out there, like even attacking me through all this as I'm trying to make information available to try to help people. Truly, if you've been following me at all, then you know that I don't even think I should be here right now. I already died more than 10 years ago. So this whole thing with me being on YouTube and all this crazy stuff, I don't know what all this is. I only know that it's where I am right now, and I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is sharing information and knowledge and the story of everything that's happened. So I don't think anything is random. I was talking to the lady at the injunction place today, as I was filing paperwork, and she was so sad. She looked like she wanted to cry for me. But I told her, listen, nothing is random. If you believe, as I do, that there is a purpose for all of this, then you really have nothing to be scared of. That doesn't mean you have to go around acting like an idiot and coughing on people and walking into big groups and stuff. What it does mean, though, is that you shouldn't worry so much. I still wake up every day and I still hear the birds singing. To me, it's like a normal day. The only thing different is humans and how they're behaving. And of course, every day there's new rules. Like now I have to run around with paper. I have to have a letter that basically states that I belong out there, that I'm okay, that the cops should let me go. And I have to carry out my ID card to show them that I am who I am and that I do have the credentials that allow me to be out there, that I'm critical. I'm critical for trying to keep things somewhat normal. So if all of this is making you anxious and nervous, I'm going to tell you this: take a deep breath, listen for the birds. It's still a normal day. All this craziness is man-made. Okay? It doesn't mean that there's not a virus going around and that people aren't dying, but what I'm saying is the behavior of the humans running around, screaming and freaking out, that is human. That is nothing to do with the world, really. If people would just take a deep breath and be kind to one another and not lose their humanity over this, I think we're going to make it through it just fine. And regardless of what happens, I don't think this is going to wipe out the human race, although a lot of people might die from it. I do think that hopefully people learn from it and learn that what they thought was important, like the movie stars, the sports celebrities, and all those people that people were willing to pay $2,000 to sit down and watch them throw a ball or catch a ball or bounce a basketball or something. Suddenly they're not so important, and that poor little stock boy or stock girl at Walmart putting out the toilet paper at night has become very important. Or the people that are still serving Chinese food, suddenly are important. Or the lowly custodian, which I am right now. I'm a custodian, I'm a janitor. I clean. And where I work, they're all highly appreciative. They thank me, and they just feel a lot more comfortable knowing that I'm there cleaning and sterilizing everything to try to keep them all safe and try to keep any spread from occurring. You're trying to minimize it. You're trying to protect the group. So the first responders, like the police and the firemen and stuff, are still important and always will be looked at in this country as heroes ever since 9/11. But nurses and doctors are coming to the forefront again. They've always been out there, but now they're dying trying to protect other people who are stupid. People who say, I'm not going to get infected, so I'm not going to worry about it. Then they get infected and the doctor has to take care of them. Then the doctor dies because they got infected. You got to think beyond yourself. You got to treat yourself, even if you're not infected right now or don't think you're infected. You got to treat yourself as if you were infected and what you would do to try to protect other people, from you. So when you start thinking stuff like that, that's when you don't feel stupid putting a mask made out of paper towels over your face, even though you look like a dork. It's to keep you from coughing on other people. And also it can protect their cough from hitting you, so it goes two ways. But by protecting yourself from spreading anything, you're protecting other people. And if everybody did that, then we're all protecting each other. And that's what needs to happen. I think it will happen because I do believe still that people are good and in the human spirit, and that we will overcome, even though we might have quite a loss from this. But hopefully the lesson will be learned and people don't forget, even though sometimes, I see people's behavior and it makes me so sad. But nothing is ever as random as it seems. And if you know that, and if you have faith in that and you have confidence in that, then you have nothing to worry about. And as much as I love this life, I love being here with my wife, my kids, and I love the birds and the bees and the little squirrels and Tiny and all my animal friends like the dolphins and stuff. When it is my time to go, I'm ready. You know, I've always been ready. So it's nothing new and nothing to panic about. Because if you believe as I do, then you know that life on this earth here is very, very minuscule. It's very brief. We are only here just very, very briefly. If you believe in the soul, the spirit, then you know that we're actually something bigger. You know, we're part of something that's much larger than what we are right now. I'm going to go ahead and finish my food and head out. I do need to check up on some other business, and then I got to go meet somebody. Somebody wants to know if I'm working today. I already worked one job. You know, I got off my main job. Working my second job, YouTube, right now. And getting ready to work to promote Solar Wholesale, even though they haven't paid me. And the reason I'm working, even though I haven't been paid, is I think what they offer may be a lifeline to some people. That's with promoting it. But they do need to pay me if they want to keep me. Otherwise, I'll leave. Speaking of what, becoming a spokesmodel or a spokesperson or a what do they call them? What do you call those product representatives? I've also been recruited and will be promoting another product here coming up soon, so look forward to that. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. I can't remember yet. My brain is like, oh, Vaunt. If you ever heard of Vaunt, V-O-N-T, Vaunt Lights, they do lighting and stuff like that. Portable lights, light strings, lanterns, things like that. I have been chosen to be one of their reps. Not salesman or anything, but you know, a product promoter. So I'll be picking up their units they're sending to me here shortly, and I'm also going to have my friend, show name Ace, do a review as well as me. So he's going to get a set to do a review, and I had requested Vaunt send 4 of them. You know, one for me, one for Trail Name to review, and one for each of us to give away. So we're going to be doing a giveaway drawing for that soon. But not only that, I also worked in a deal so that if you guys order, I'm going to give you a link. I actually don't get paid for this from them because I didn't push that. I didn't make them give me a percentage, you know. But anyhow, if you guys order through the link, you'll get 10% off. So you'll have a discount code. It'll be good not just for the product I'm going to be reviewing, which is going to be a little light thingy. I think it's a portable headlight, you know, like a headband light. So I'll be taking a look at that, showing you what it's like, what, you know, how it can be used, and what I think of it. But if you like that light, you can order it and get 10% off. Or if you go and just Google, not Google, but go on Amazon or whatever, and search for Vaunt, V-O-N-T, you will see all their products. They got a variety of products. You'll be able to get them all discounted by 10% just by mentioning the discount code that they gave me to give you guys. I'll have to look that up again. I forget it. But basically, I'm working on right now assembling all the products that we're sponsoring, that are sponsoring our channel. So there's going to be a whole list of companies that will give you discounts and stuff just because you're a member of this channel and know me, basically. So look forward to that. We'll be assembling all that, as well as resources like where to camp right now, where to park your RV if you get stuck. Make sure that you look at the Facebook group and Facebook page. Connie was kind enough to provide that information. As soon as I can, I'm going to put the link as a comment and pin it so that people can find it. Because I know right now if you're in an RV, it may be very hard to park. I don't know if they'll allow vans to go there unless it's like a really isolated campground. You might be able to camp out in your van. The reason this is coming up and stuff, like I said, is resources are being shut down. So if you can prepare enough food and can cook out in the wilds and stuff like that, or have solar power and things to keep you going, you can self-isolate for like, maybe a month or maybe 2 weeks or whatever before you have to go back for supplies. But if you can stay out a whole month, that may be long enough for this whole thing to pass over. Although I suspect at this point right now, because of how slow the response had been for the United States, it might be several months before things even go to some kind of semblance of normalcy, if you want to call it that. Or maybe this is going to be the new normal. Everybody's going to be walking around like little bandits. Well, I have finished my bat meal. And it was delicious. Connie wants to know if we can submerge the lights in the water and they still work. I don't know, Connie. I haven't gotten them yet. I should get them by Friday. I'll take a look at them and see if you can submerge them. Mark Ken says there's a new mini moon orbiting the Earth. And it's the size of a car. Maybe it's a car called the Tesla. Remember, folks, what makes us human is our humanity. When you start getting scared of other humans who are in a less fortunate situation than you, like whether they be stuck on a cruise ship or whatever, and you won't let them in because you're so scared, I sometimes question if you're still human. But that's what I see happening in the news right now, and it makes me so sad. Not so much for the people that are stuck on the boat, although that is a sad situation. I think it's pretty foolish to go, sailing and stuff when all this stuff was going on, but people didn't know at the time, or they thought that everything would be fine. But like I said, I do believe in God. I do believe everything is as it should be. So those people are supposed to be on the boat. Although it will make you think twice about going on a cruise somewhere. It also make you think twice about what flag is on what particular ship. A lot of these cruise ships, they base them out of the Bahamas and Panama and other places to not pay taxes in the United States. And also so they can hire and mistreat their employees. Because, foreigners tend to work really cheap and hard. They don't complain. They don't do all that stuff Americans do. And that's why the cost of labor is so cheap in other countries. So, the companies do that even though they cater to Americans who can afford to pay the money to go on a cruise. And now that you have an emergency, those same ships are stuck off the coast of America and other countries, and nobody's letting them in, including the United States. So right now there are a whole bunch of ships out there that cannot dock anywhere, and they weren't full of, they had a few sick people, but they will eventually have all of them sick. Because anyone who's ever been on a cruise ship, or any kind of ship, how confined that space is. The fact that they cannot land and disperse the people means they will all get contaminated. So it's basically death ships out there right now. It does make me sad. The countries are saying they're protecting themselves. I think you're a little bit too late at this point. You're worried about 400 or 800 people out there in the ships who are infected, and the numbers here are growing up to several 100,000. So my whole point is, like what they did in Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys saw. I try not to tell you the negative news that I see sometimes because it just makes me really angry and upset with humans. I was wondering. I had a curiosity about homeless people because as some of you know, I kind of associate with and try to help the homeless when I can. I try to feed them and sometimes give them money and other stuff when I can. I was wondering what was going on with the homeless situation, all the homeless people now that they've shut everything down. Well, apparently they were being sent to the shelters, but in Las Vegas, one of the shelters had one person test positive. And because of that, they shut the whole shelter down. So they shut down the homeless shelter. And what do you think they did with the homeless people? That's right. They stuck them out on the street, on the hot pavement, and made little boxes for them to stay in and say, that's your zone. So they put all the homeless people outside to sleep outside, where I think it was dropping into the 40s, you know, in Las Vegas at night right now. I don't know. But they were putting all the homeless people out there. Meanwhile, I don't know if you're aware, the entire city of Las Vegas, with like maybe over 15,000 hotel rooms, is vacant. They're not putting the homeless people into the hotel rooms. Those hotel rooms are just sitting there empty right now. They'd rather let these people die on the hot pavement or the cold pavement at night than to put them into hotel rooms that are just sitting there vacant right now. That just shows me that humanity is doomed. We've lost our priority, you know, as far as what is important. You know, what seems to be important right now to some people, including government, is how things look. You know, right now, people were protesting that situation in Las Vegas because people are like, this is messed up. Why are you sticking these homeless people out on the pavement, the hot and cold pavement, instead of putting them in hotel rooms? I don't think they wanted those, quote, dirty people to contaminate the hotels. But, you know, you're going to have to disinfect everything anyways. Would you go into a hotel room or a ship, even though they said there were no infections, when we don't know if people were infected? When there's no way to really tell until somebody's pretty much dying? So you can't trust just because they say that it's clean, that it's clean. They're going to have to disinfect everything. And even then, you know, you can't really disinfect everything. What's going to have to happen is people are going to have to build up immunity on this stuff. And then it's going to become like the regular cold or the regular flu. It'll still kill some people every year, but other people, they just get a little bit sick. You know, that's what's going to happen. Because if that doesn't happen, welcome to the new world. This is how things are going to be from now on. And really, I don't conceive it being like this. I don't conceive people will put up with this panic and lockdown and stuff much longer. You know, I can conceive maybe upwards of 3 to 6 months at the most. But after that, people are going to get out on the streets and start doing what they normally do when they've had it with the government. So anyhow, I am going to go ahead and sign out. It is very interesting. I do want to pray for each and every one of you. Let you know that the Pay It Forward channel is supposedly at 1,000. I just tried to do a live stream, but it still won't let me. For some reason, it says we haven't met the count yet. It might be because YouTube might take a couple of days to catch up on the count, you know, the algorithm to let me broadcast. So this may be the last real broadcast from here, because this broadcast really belongs on Pay It Forward. I'm going to start broadcasting from there. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Pay It Forward channel, make sure you do so. Make sure you tap the notification bell. Once that channel goes live, you will not see me on here very much. So be warned. All right? Take care, everybody. Please stay safe. And remember, if you have to, go out. This is just a paper towel. You can use tape. You can use string. You can use rubber band. Cover it up. Not only will it protect you, it'll protect other people from you. So take care, everyone. God bless you all. Stay safe now. Be safe.